Hello students, welcome to yet another fun-filled week. This week we shall discuss the Malthus theory of population, which can also be referred to as the Malthusian theory of population. Thomas Malthus was the first man who wrote a famous essay on population. He was a famous British economist who gave a serious attention to population issue. Thomas Robert Malthus, an English cleric and scholar, published his theory in 1798 in an essay titled Essay on the Principle of Population as it affects the future improvement of society. The major theme that Malthus stressed in his theory was the relationship between population growth and food supply. The Malthus theory had mainly two headings, which include population and food supply. Secondly, checks on population control. Some of the arguments or highlights of the Malthus theory of population include the following: and that population of a country is limited by the means of subsistence. That is, the size of population is determined by the availability of food. The greater the food production, the greater the size of the population which can be sustained. He also argued that the growth of population will outrun the increase in food production. In fact, Malthus observed that population would tend to increase at a geometric rate, that is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, etc. But food supply that will sustain the population will tend to increase at an arithmetic rate, that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, etc. You will recall that in mathematics, geometric rate or geometric progression increases faster than arithmetic progression. So, in the long run, population growth will outrun food supply because population grows faster than food supply. Thus, there would always be a tendency for the population to outrun the means of subsistence unless population growth is checked by vice and misery. He also argued that as the food supply in a country increases, the people will produce more children and will have larger families. This will increase the demand for food, and food per person will again diminish. Therefore, according to Malthus, the standard of living of the people cannot rise permanently. Malthus also argued that, or pointed out that, there were two possible checks which the growth rate of population. He termed them: one, the preventive checks; secondly, the positive checks. So what do Malthus refer to as preventive checks or as positive checks? Preventives are two methods Malthus pointed out to control the rate of growth of a given population at a particular time. Thus, preventive checks are those checks which are applied by man. Preventive checks arise from man's foresight, which enables him to see distant consequences. He sees the distress which frequently visit those who have large families. He also argues that these measures include family planning, late marriages, and celibacy. Aside the preventive checks, Malthus also proposes what we call the positive checks. Positive checks exercises their influence on the growth of population by increasing the death rate. They are applied by nature. The unwholesome occupation, hard labor, exposure to the seasons, extreme poverty, nursing of children, common diseases, wars, plagues, famine, etc. are some of the examples of positive shocks. They all shorten human life and increases the death rate. It should also be noted that the positive shocks can also be referred to as natural checks on population growth. Please, if you have any question, you can ask. Again, of the two checks on population growth, Malthus recommended the use of preventive checks if mankind was to escape from the impending misery. If preventive checks were not effectively used, positive checks like diseases, wars, famine will come into operation. As a result, the population will be reduced to the level which can be sustained by the available quantity of food supply. I want to believe you are following, but just in case, if you have any question, you can ask at the end of the class. The table below illustrates a Malthus theory in a nutshell. You will recall I told us population growth rises in a geometric progression, while food supply that sustains the population growth rises in an arithmetic progression. The imbalances between population and growth and food supply was put to check using two methods. We have the positive checks, which include epidemic, wars, earthquake, etc., and preventive checks, which include late marriages, celibacy, family planning, etc. But however, there are certain shortfalls, criticisms of the Malthus theory, which include the following. 1. Food production. Many thanks to technological advancement, food production has dramatically increased over the past century. Often, the food production rate has grown higher than the population growth rate. This is as a result of the use of fertilizers, improved seedlings, and so on and so forth. Secondly, population growth. The gloom and doom forecast put forward by Malthus have not played out. In Western Europe, population have grown, not the rate Malthus predicted, and food production has also risen because of technological advancement. Number 3, a pessimistic theory. The Malthus theory has been described as being that is, it emphasizes on natural calamities, deaths, and other negative aspects of human race. Please, I want to ask again, just in case if you have any challenges on what we've discussed so far, you can ask questions at the end of the class. Is that all right? I want to believe you are following and the class is understandable and well understood by you. Again, still on the criticism of the Malthus theory, Malthus did not give sufficient importance to scientific solution of the existence of population problems. Also, population growth rate varies from country to country depending upon the stage of its economic, scientific, and technological advancement. Again, positive shocks like natural calamities occurred in underpopulated areas as well. So there was no causal between positive shocks and overpopulation. Hence, both positive shocks and preventive shocks can occur irrespective of the population of a place. It is not necessarily because if a place is overpopulated that we will now have the natural or the positive checks. So I want to say bye-bye. I want to believe you understood all what we've discussed. But however, if you have any challenges, you can meet me in class or ask questions whenever you feel free. Bye-bye. And God bless you all. Please don't forget to attempt your quizzes as well as your assignments, and also play your games. The video clip below will help your understanding of the summary of what we've discussed today. So I enjoin you to watch the clip for clearer understanding of today's topic.